subscribers also help contribute. Alright, you know how to play Blaze Wizard. I'll make another video in 6 months when more people hop on the bandwagon. Every year, I make a video guide on Blaze Wizard. Korea seems to do a funny thing of completely revamping the skills of this class shortly after in their summer showcase. This year, our beloved Firecaster has received a ton of changes, so we're gonna go through all the class skills, also build the class, some tips and tricks, and I hope you leave this video more interested and knowledgeable about the class. So, first off, these are the passives. There's nothing too different like most other classes. And as a side note, Orbital Explosion used to be a toggle and is now a passive. We're going to go through the utility and mobility skills first. Blaze Wizard is a very mana-hungry class. Controlled Burn is a skill where its active can be casted to give you mana back every 60 seconds. More importantly, its passive grants Mana Steal, where when landing abilities on enemies will give mana back. Burning Conduit is our famous recipe. Our community loves to call it pizza. It's a 40-second buff that grants 40% damage to any party member as long as they're standing on it, and 60% to yourself. You specifically don't need to be on top of it the whole time. As long as you've touched it once after placing it down, you're free to move away from it. Flame Barrier is a 2-minute cooldown shield that blocks 10 status debuffs to your character, useful for bosses that inflict stuns and curses. Phoenix Run is our class door. When it procs, you'll be iframed for 3 seconds, and teleported backwards from where you're facing. This stacks with Serum Elixir or Bishop's Door so you can get 2 extra lives. Cinder Maelstrom is a 2-minute cooldown class bind, nothing special other than its fire effects. Firewalk is your standard flash jump. Press jump while midair to cast, and holding up while casting in midair will cast an up jump. And no, this is not Grand Darksight on flash jump. Flash Fire is a recall teleport skill similar to Bowmaster and Marksman, where casting it will place down, and casting it again will recall to that location. This can be casted in the air, and down casting it will resummon the skill and refresh its duration. Blazing Blitz is a quick dash skill that can be used to move around quickly and dodge attacks reactively based on the situation. Before we get into the main skills, we need to cover our toggles. Mana Overload is a 5th job skill all mages have, granting you foul damage and cost for more mana consumption. Orbital Flame Range is a passive hyper skill, where toggling it on will increase the range of your main attack. Fires of Creation is an important 4th job skill that when activated, summons either a Blazing Lion or a Flame Fox. Casting the skills again switches between the 2 summons. More importantly, these summons determine the behavior of your 4 primary attacking skills. The Lion grants them a mobbing mode, while the Fox converts them to a bossing mode. Passively, this skill gives Ignore Defense. Orbital Flame is your main skill, where every 4th shot will be enhanced and can be shot in 4 cardinal directions. Lion comes back like a boomerang for mobbing, and Fox shoots straight forward. 6th job enhances this skill by adding a forward flame wall every few seconds for more damage. You can move and jump around while using the skill, but unlike Ren, you can't flash jump while holding it down. Towering Inferno is a 4th job skill where Lion mode casts a quick 6-second cooldown AoE skill, while Fox's mode shoots a little Fox projectile forward. While the cooldown for this is 30 seconds, the special thing is that for every direct skill that lands, Fox's cooldown will decrease by 0.2 seconds, resulting in more frequent casting. 6th job specifically changes Fox's animation and hitbox completely. Look at that. Damn! Blazing Extinction is a strong 4th job skill where Lion will send forward a sunball affected by gravity, shooting out rays of light to hit nearby enemies. Fox will summon a still sunball that condenses all the damage for burst. Savage Flame is a 5th job skill where Lion will place down a giant flame summon that continuously kills enemies, and it can have a 100% uptime with cooldown reduction. Fox mode sends out homing balls towards the strongest enemy that can bounce multiple times. This can also be used for mobbing. Important thing to note, if you hold down and cast any of the animal skills, you can summon the other animal's counterpart. Just a little editor's note here, you can also right click each animal skill here to to command lock them, and what that will do is if you hold down and cast, it will continue using the same animal. For other active skills, Orbital Inferno is a 5th job skill that has a 5-second cooldown and essentially a giant orbital flame that can be aimed in any direction. This skill can also be casted while holding down orbital flames. Try to aim this skill based on your positioning of the enemy and their size. For example, if the enemy is tall, it might be worth casting it upwards to guarantee more hits. But it's also important to note that there is a hit cap for this skill. Phalanx Charge is a common Cygnus Knight 5th job skill. Sending it out to move forward and recasting it will reverse its direction. Birds will stop at the first target it hits. You can right click to enable stationary mode, where the birds will stay put on initial cast. Pressing down and Phalanx again will reposition it onto your character. Salamander Mischief is a summon that passively does damage when you attack, then buffs you while it's off cooldown based on how many times it's hit the enemy. Phoenix Drive is one of your main burst skills. It's a simple area of effect that deals damage around your character for 20 seconds. Inferno Sphere is your 5th job main active burst skill. This is a simple 5-second keydown with a ton of damage. Casting it in the air freezes you in that position until the end of cast. You also get status resist and damage reduction while casting. Eternity is our class's 6th job origin skill. It has 2 parts. The first part is a big burst skill during the cutscene. The second part is a 30-second summon that attacks the entire map. And finally, Flame Concerto is our class's 6th job ascent skill. It's a simple single cast cutscene for damage or iframes. One important thing about this skill is that it applies on Fox's Towering Inferno's cooldown reduction. Consider popping Towering Inferno and any other low cooldown skills prior to casting your ascents. In the upcoming GMS Ride the Light update, we will also get Soul Hecate. For the bind, consider applying a 1-minute cooldown such as Salamander Mischief, and a 2-minute cooldown such as Phoenix Drive for the burst skill. Blaze Wizard has no class-specific auto buff skills, so feel free to put all the decents on your pets. This is the sequence. You can reuse the same sequence for your 1 minute, or you can bind this 1 minute to your keyboard for more control. For inner ability, our best inner is +1 passives, and additionally boss damage and damage with abnormal status. Flat magic attack works too, but not as good as the other two. Due to our low cooldown skills providing so much damage, Cooldown Hat and Mercedes Legion Block lets us spam these skills more often. For funding, don't stress too much about the cooldown for early game, get the first relevant stat lines or cooldown lines you see on a Chaos Root Abyss hat. Once you get an Eternal, start aiming for more cooldown. In terms of buff duration, ideally go for at least 40% buff duration for 100% uptime on Burning Conduit, and in late game you want as much as possible for Angelic Buster's terms and conditions link skill duration. Additionally, we are a little crit rate starved, so you may need to invest some points in Hyperstat, Legion Grid, and Artifact for these 2 stats. Does Blaze Wizard need attack speed in the big 2026? No. We are a Hurricane class similar to Bowmaster and Wind Archer, and our skills are effectively the same damage with or without Monster Park Green Pot. In addition, Burning Conduit also breaks the attack speed cap similar to Green Pot. It might be worth it to pop Green Pot for possible sequence animations or certain ability cast times, but it's up to you. For skill rings, a good portion of our damage distribution relies on Inferno Sphere and Phoenix Drive. Ring of Restraint with Weapon Jump to Ring Swap is best in slot. Continuous Ring is comparable, but Ring of Restraint beats it out for burst damage. If you're playing Challenger World, consider picking up a Continuous Ring for early game, and you can always rent out the Ring of Restraint with the rental system in GMS, especially after the ring changes, where you can equip both. For secondaries, Deimos Sage Shield is the best secondary for most mages, primarily due to its Star Forcible stats. For hyper skills, take all Orbital Flames and both Blazing Extinction damage hypers. Unfortunately, Orbital Explosion is still not worth investing in even with Hexa Mastery. Blaze Wizard is a very whack-a-mole class. What I mean by that is that the way you play it is essentially casting every skill off cooldown while holding down Orbital Flame. The skills you primarily pay attention to are your animal skills, Orbital Inferno, and Phalanx Charge. These attacks deal a significant portion of your damage, so the more you cast them, the better. In terms of burst rotation, an Origin Burst, 2-minute sequence, Origin, dump all of your low cooldown skills, hold down Inferno Sphere, and hold down Orbitals, and cast all of your low cooldown skills off cooldown. On regular bursts, it's the exact same thing without the Origin. On your 1 minute or minis, sequence, Phalanx Charge, and Blazing Extinction if they're up, and continue using your skills off cooldown. What you might notice is that your Inferno Sphere is going to desync down the line due to the delay of Origin and casting your low cooldown skills. But I wouldn't worry, in a practical bossing setting, with syncing up with your other party members and Inferno Sphere being only 5 seconds, delaying the skill within your roar window to prioritize your other skills will not affect your burst. This class by itself without Soul Janus is great at mobbing. As you've seen with the skill explanations, lion animal skills grant a ton of options for mobbing. Particularly, Blazing Extinction and Savage Flame are amazing map covering options that go very well with both Soul Janus Dusk and Dawn. Towering Inferno being a 6-second cooldown skill will also be one of your main hitters. Also, if you're clearing mobs with orbitals, don't be afraid to get creative and aim upwards and downwards from your positioning. Some more tips. Hurricane movement is an amazing micro movement option. Being able to position yourself and dodge boss patterns while upkeeping your orbitals is vital to doing damage. Be creative with your flash fire placement and movement, especially with the recent changes. You can flash fire midair and recall to a safe spot whenever you're in a pinch. I can't stress enough that a lot of your damage are in your low cooldown skills. Keep track of their timings and use them off cooldown. However, with Blazing Extinction, if you have Fatal Strike V node, sometimes it's worth lining up the timing. One last thing to note, Blaze Wizard is really good at hitting from below or above, so for bosses like Kalos, you'll have amazing uptime. TLDR, Blaze Wizard is a bowmaster with like 5 extra buttons. For more information, discussions, and questions, you can check out the Arsonist's Cookbook, Google Doc guide, along with the Blaze Wizard Discord linked in the description. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy Blaze Wizard. I love this class, and I think in its current state, it's the most fun it's ever been. Okay, thanks, bye-bye!